Hello, everybody. My name is Scott Gilbert. I want to take you through the detailed process in order to review feature requests. Hopefully, you've seen my other video talks about feature requests and how transparency is really important. This video is a follow-on video to that one, and it talks all about feature requests in detail. Now, we're going to cover 5 scenarios. The first scenario that we're going to cover is a feature request that requires more information. Second scenario is going to be a feature request that is not something we ever plan to do. Number 3 is a feature request that is something we're going to do and is already on our roadmap. The fourth scenario is a feature request that is something that's not on our roadmap, but it is definitely something we're interested in. Then the fifth scenario is just going to be a random feature request that requires us to get some, quick and easy response out to the customer. I'm going to go through and actually have examples of what you should do whenever it comes to feature requests, something for each of those scenarios as we process and go through this presentation. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Our adventure begins now with our first scenario for the feature request processing.
Endeavored created a feature request here.
So what you're looking at here is a mock-up of a support website. On the left side, you've got the logo of the company, search box on the center there, and then top right, you've got a submit ticket button and a feature request button. I've got a simulated header just to represent different things that you might find on the support website. You can follow these posts. You can see there's 3 followers on this one. I'm already following it, so it says unfollow. It says SaaS feature request, and you've got an up-down button. Those are for other customers to come in here and vote this thing up or down. The request there is from Jane Smith. She's asking that we add a description to the WYSIWYG tool, and then she's got a little bit of information about that. And you can see how this is laid out, and this is the support website where other customers can come and publicly see what we've posted.
In terms of this one, the first thing as we were reviewing it, we've noticed that it's going to require some clarifying questions. So we responded to the customer with some information that you could see here in terms of what we wanted to do, basically set up a follow-up discussion. I did mark the comment that I made as the official comment to this post, then marked it as follow-up plan. And you can see that's been done by taking a look at the status here. And then, what we do is we'll periodically review the follow-up plan feature request to see if there's been any new information provided by the customer out there, or whether in this case we had a follow-up conversation and we can come back to her and discuss what we're going to do or not do with respect to this feature request. So that's the first scenario where we're facing a feature request that requires us to gather some more information from the customer, and we'll move on to scenario 2. Example of feature request that we are basically turning down. The standard language is that something is not currently on our roadmap, so you can see that here. You'll see that this is the official comment. That's something else that we make sure and mark. You can see right here is designated as not planned. And also, you'll notice that we've closed the discussion. Further posts to this feature request are blocked because we've selected that option. And that basically covers scenarios where there's a feature request, we don't ever plan on doing it. Next up is scenario 3, feature requests that we do have currently planned for a future release. Let's jump to the example. First thing we're going to do is respond with our official language here that lets the customer know that it is part of our planned releases that just haven't come out yet. You'll notice that we also officially mark this as our official comment. We also set the feature as planned right here. And we also open support ticket. Those are all the first steps. We'll then take you on a look at the back end of how we process these things here internally, and then we'll come out on the other side and look at what steps we would take if we were going to close this. This is just an example of our internal support ticket.
At the top left, you're going to notice that there's a little bit of a breadcrumb trail. It's got us tracked back to Acme, then to Rod Daniels, who's the person who processed this feature request, and then the ticket number here, request 3432 5. On the left side, you're just going to see some basic metadata fields, assignee, the source where it came from. So this helps us keep track of all the feature requests from the forums, what product they were specifically commenting on. And then we have a reference ID here to our bug tracking and feature tracking system, which in this case is Jira. The status is planned. And then now switching over to the right side, you've got Jane Smith is represented by this JS here, and there's the title of what her feature request was. There's a link here to the feature request post itself, and then we've just copied over her comments into the ticket so that we can track this. So that's what you're looking at here.
So let's now pretend that some time has gone by and we have released this product and it is now officially part of our latest release.
What we would do, since that feature is officially part of our product, we're going to go in here and we would put a comment on the feature request. So the official language looks something like this. I'm just giving an example here. On this date, we released our new product or feature, and then we point them usually to an article on the support website where they can get more information. And then we have this official language, which is, we believe this addresses your use case. Please contact customer support if it doesn't help in this regard. We will then, once we have this language posted, then we would come over here and we would mark the feature request as completed, and then we would also close it for comments.
Okay, so switching back to the internal view, this is what the ticket would look like on the inside. We're just going to post this little message here. The feature was released to our SaaS environment, and then close this out. This is just an example of a report that you could run periodically to look at all the tickets and feature requests that you have that have been in the release status and when they were released. This is just good to go back and review and make sure that everything that's been released is closed out from a customer facing standpoint and also from an internal standpoint.
That covers scenario 3, where we've got a feature request that's planned for a future release. And next we're going to look at scenario 4, the feature request that's not planned for a future release. So it's not on our roadmap, but it is something we're interested in pursuing. First of all, you're going to notice that we're responding to the customers posting with our standard language. Thank you for your recommendation. It's being further evaluated to determine how best to improve our product. So that's our standard language. You'd notice here that I have marked the comment as an official comment. I've also changed the comment so that it is in the under evaluation category. And then also you're going to notice that I've closed this feature request for comments while we process it. And so now I'm going to take you through and just show you what that looks like on the other side. Now we are internal and we're looking at this feature request. Whenever it first comes in and it's for review, once we've decided it's not on our roadmap, but it's something we might want to do, we put that in feature request status in review.
No Jira yet.
And then what we do is we'll come along every week and we'll have a meeting where we go and we look through these queues of tickets. Feature request pending review. That means they're in review status, like I just showed you. There's feature requests that we've reviewed and we believe that it is definitely something we want to be planning on, but we don't quite know when we're going to plan it yet.
So if we do eventually plan to do something with the feature request, we would go back and follow scenario 3 like we talked about earlier. If we eventually do not plan to do anything with the feature request, we would go back and follow scenario 2 that we talked about earlier.
And if we need more information, we would go back to scenario number 1.
This is scenario 5, the last scenario, feature requests that require a simple response. Basically, this is a known bug that the particular person was following up on. We just responded to the feature request with some information about how we were going to deal with their feature requests. I did mark it as the official comment. I did come over here and post mark it as support ticket opened. And then I also marked it as closed for comments. And so that's how we handle anything that just is a feature request that requires a quick and simple response where there's no further dialogue needed. For all of you watching, thank you so much for tuning in. This is the conclusion of our feature request review in detail of our process and how we handled the 5 scenarios of feature requests that we see out there. Hope you enjoyed it, and please feel free to hit me up if you have any questions.